Billie has once again proven her level of genius with her two new tracks, TV and The 30th. I've been listening to these songs on repeat since their release, and I've discovered that Billie has combined three groundbreaking music creation skills to take this release to a whole new level. In this video, I'm going to share with you everything that I've learned so that you can improve your own songwriting and production. Billie is already recognised as a talented songwriter. However, with the release of these two singles, she has shown that by taking some time out from writing, you can come back with fresh perspectives, motivation, and feeling inspired.
I had been writing down all these thoughts that I was having, and I was with Finneas, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you were planning on doing, but we need to write this song about this right now. And we did, and that was the first song we wrote since Happier Than Ever.
And Billie certainly came back to songwriting raring to go. Her lyrics and TV are so authentic, emotive, and current. Especially with the lyrics, the internet's gone wild watching movie stars on trial, while they're overturning Roe V Wade. Through her carefully thought out lyrics, Billie has been able to bring her listeners on an emotive journey with her as she opens up her heart to reflect on current affairs. It must be said that it is very admirable that Billie has used her talent in order to express her thoughts on current issues that are still very raw and emotive. These lyrics instantly grab the listener's attention, as this is a shared experience between us all. Billie uses a beautiful balance between lyrics and musicality. Her lyrics highlight what she is thinking about when writing. However, she uses the instrumentation and production to show her emotion towards these topics. Note how the instruments pause at the end of that sentence. This production allows you more space to really let the lyrics sink in. See if you can hear the exact same tactic being used here in The 30th.
You were scared.
Such a vulnerable line, made even more exposed without layers of instrumentation. But the final lines of The 30th go even further than that.
So am I.
Billie sings "and so am I" instead of "and so was I" for the last time she sings the chorus. Small changes like this can leave a first-time listener questioning what they heard earlier, encouraging them to listen again. I'll break the production down in more detail in just a moment, but first let's listen to the power of group vocals. Firstly, we have the goosebumps of the actual Manchester crowd singing along with her. It just gives you the feels every single time. Notice also how everyone is singing "maybe I'm the problem." It's a bit meta how if everyone is singing collectively "maybe I'm the problem," then we all together are the problem. More of a collective global problem. But even more genius still, Billie changes the final lyrics.
Baby, I'm a problem.
Moving from the conditional "maybe I'm the problem" to "baby, I'm the problem." Billie has decided to put the full blame on herself and ends the track on a painful note, leaving the listener very aware of the pain she is feeling. Small lyrical changes that cause such a huge shift in emotion are seriously impactful, and there's no doubt every word is purposefully chosen. Billie is second to none with her open and authentic lyricism. She brings the listener closer in with her honesty and is a catalyst for stirring emotion with her real-time storytelling. The continuity in any collection of work is super important. We can clearly see that TV and The 30th are similar by both being acoustic tracks with some tasty instrumentation around the guitar and the lead vocal. But there are more ways that Billie and her producer and brother Finneas managed to create a beautiful continuity between both tracks. TV is in the key of E minor and The 30th is in the key of G major. Both have 1 sharp, F sharp, which makes them relative keys. Relative keys have the same notes available to them while creating melody and chords. In this case we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. This ensures both tracks can flow beautifully in between each other. But do note that their home or root chords are different. TV resolves to E minor, with us recognizing minor chords are innately sad, where the 30th root chord is a major chord, making its home place feel a little bit more positive. As mentioned before, both tracks start off with very few layers.
I don't wanna talk right now.
One of the most challenging tasks in audio production is recording a beautiful acoustic track, adding layers, but not losing its authenticity. It is incredibly difficult to do, but Billie, along with her brother Finneas, continue to find ways to do so using the most unique methods.
Just like you did before the accident.
We can hear the simplicity of the vocal and acoustic guitar. This is extremely important to start off the tracks with minimal production, to leave space for the layers of instrumentation to build throughout. Funnily enough, one of my favourite production tools that Billie and Finneas have used in this track is not so much about what they have added, but more about what they haven't taken out. Just listen to her breath here.
I remember you said
In most audio productions, the breath is taken down in volume or cut entirely. But Billie understands the power of breathing within a vocal, especially one that is so authentic like this. Billie and Finneas leave the vocal up front, clear as day, with all its so-called imperfections, allowing the breath to add to the emotion of the track. Her perfectly placed, sharp breaths cut through and really compound the stress and discomfort she is feeling. Notice how there are so many imperfections with the crowd sample as well. There's no better way to connect your fans with your art than putting them right in it. The recording really picks up the intangible excitement in the crowd. Their heart and soul is really going into this sing-along, creating a simply wonderful recording. Of course, it's been recorded in a large stadium, so not perfectly ideal for a recording. But sometimes the audio quality doesn't really matter when the take has that much passion. And I've started to love some of the imperfections. In your right ear, you can hear someone shouting, "Billie, I love you!" And also how there's so many people clapping slightly off time. It's making a lovely flam effect and really thickens out the claps. It's just goosebumps every single time. Such a lovely moment. Now this final point is absolutely the most important and my personal favourite music creation technique that Billie used in this release. And it's all about the connection between step 1, real-time storytelling, connecting with part 2, the acoustic production that Billie and Finneas used. She took the utmost care in connecting her lyrical, chordal, melodic and rhythmic structure throughout, leaving the listener with the full spectrum of emotions she felt while writing. See if you can hear the minor 4th chords here that happen just before each chorus in the 30th.
And so was I.
Minor 4th chords sound a little bit strange because they include a note that isn't in the key. So think back to earlier where our notes were G, A, B, C, D, E and F sharp. But this minor 4th chord, or C minor, has an E flat, which isn't in the key. Because of that, the chord has a lot of tension. And the first time we hear this minor 4th chord is along with the heaviest lyrics, "And so was I," really driving home the emotion of tension and uneasiness. And what's even more impressive is the entire build-up section of the bridge. It's a masterpiece. We can hear Billie diving deeper into her imagination, getting more intense and stressed with each passing thought. The chord progression of this section is G, C minor, C major, and back to C minor, which already sounds cool using the tension of the minor 4th we just mentioned. But this time she goes even further. If we take these 3 chords and change the C and the C minor to second inversions, instead of playing C minor like this, you move the top note down an octave. And the same thing with C. Take the top note and play it down an octave. Now our chord progression sounds like this. This results with the melody, or the highest notes, moving between D, D sharp, E, back to D sharp. This is a beautiful chromatic movement, where we take the smallest steps between notes. This chromatic movement adds to the tension and suspense. It's also very James Bond-esque. She could well be taking inspiration from her James Bond song, No Time to Die. So we have the lyrics and the melody creating tension and suspense. As the build-up of this bridge progresses, more vocals and instruments double up this melody.
The little kids play or the Angeles crest in the snow.
Doubling up this chromatic movement with more vocals and instruments punches even more power into the tension and suspense. And what's even more impressive, Billie sings the whole bridge in one breath. First of all, that takes some serious lung capacity, but it really sends home that frantic emotion of having all these horrible thoughts just rushing through your brain. A really emphatic and clever piece of recording and singing. But there is one more way in which tension was created within this bridge. If we listen closely to the bridge with a metronome, we can hear that the BPM is increasing slowly for the last 4 bars. Another super way of conveying the message that Billie is losing control of her thoughts. They just keep rushing in faster and faster until the beautiful resolve at the end of the bridge. The chromatic movement ends with a lovely ringing out chord of C, with the melody resolving to a G as the highest note of the chord. A beautiful release after all the tension and suspense. This right here is one of the most impactful, emotional, and well thought out bridges I have ever heard. There really is a mountain of detail, lyrically and sonically, to drive all the thoughts and emotions Billie is having. It really is a work of art and a perfect ending to guitar songs. If you want to learn more about the creative production that goes into creating all of Billie's tracks, I really recommend checking out my breakdown of Finneas' production right here. It has a lot more insight how he produces his own and Billie's tracks. Hope you're keeping well. Cheers.